It's just after 5 o'clock here in Europe, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jenna and I'm with Docsity, and we're really happy to welcome our friends from Emlyon Business School in France here today. At the end of their presentation, there will be time for you to ask your questions of the presenters. So throughout the presentation at any time, you can write your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll have the presenters address those questions at the end of the presentation. So at this point, I would like to leave the floor to our friends at Emlyon Business School. And so I will hand the floor to Florence Roulette, the program director.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Very nice to meet you as well. We're very happy to have you with us. I am Charlotte Guirao-Cassin. I am the Recruitment and Marketing Manager for Master's Program at Emlyon Business School. And I'm joined with Florence Roulette, the Head of EMS in Luxury Management and Marketing, who will be here today to tell you a little bit more about what it takes to make a global career in the luxury industry, and also how Emlyon can help get you there. So first of all, we're going to talk a little bit more about Emlyon and exactly what it is we do and who we are if you do not yet know us. So first of all, I would like to start with a short presentation of Emlyon.
Learn here, accomplish now, through gatherings, discussions, and being enriched by others. Explore here, make now, through projects, experiences, and endeavours unveiling new paths. Evolve here, change now, through new perspectives, engagements, and actions that challenge the rules. Share here, reveal now, through learning, experimentation, and unlocking new vocations. Awaken here, create now, through inspiring generations driving progress in the world. Here and now, Emlyon.
All right. Oops, sorry. Perfect. All right, so this was a short presentation of Emlyon. So to tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Emlyon Business School is one of the oldest business schools in the world, and we are one of the top level business schools in France and in Europe. We have 3 campuses in France, 4 campuses abroad, and we have about a little over 35,000 alumni in 130 countries all over the world, making our network of alumni and students around the world quite an interesting one that you can be a part of. At Emlyon, we are very much interested in giving the students the best when it comes to employability specifically. It is important for us that your time at Emlyon is a stepping stone in your future career and your time in the workforce. Which is why Emlyon is pretty proud for the 6th time running to be the #2 institution in France when it comes to employability, ranked by Times Higher Education. This is important for us because this is a recognition that comes from over 2,000 international employers and over 3,000 international managers who have a strong recognition and understanding of what it takes to build the future managers of tomorrow in the luxury industry and beyond, and we're very proud of this achievement and of what we can offer you as a future student of Emlyon. How does this translate in what we do in the everyday life to help you towards achieving your best goals in employability? At Emlyon, we have a career center dedicated to helping students with, first of all, finding their path and putting the right things in place in order to get to where they want to get. So you have a one-on-one coaching that is available and mandatory for the first few times to get to know you better. With our career center, you have workshops, opportunities, career days all throughout your time with us so that you really maximize your opportunities. At Emlyon, you will also be, from the first day of classes, a member of our Alumni Association, which will allow you to, straight from the get-go, be in touch with all of those 35,000 alumni all over the world, many of whom work in the luxury industry, allowing you to start building your network and get ready before you join them as well. Obviously, at emlyon, this is also very important for us that you have close contact with the teaching body and staff throughout your studies, which is why on our Paris campus specifically, you have a dedicated pedagogical coordinator who will be here specifically for your cohort to answer any and all questions that you have. And you also have a lot of access to your professors should you have any questions before, after class. So at emlyon, we consider that your career doesn't only happen in France or in your own country. You will truly be a global player, and we are here to help you out in this endeavor. The way emlyon is able to help you out in this endeavor is mostly by showing that we are able to be accredited by the three main international accreditation bodies, which are names that you may not necessarily be familiar with, but which are very important in the world of education. AACSB, which is the UK-based accreditation body, EQUIS, which is the European one, and AMBA, which is the American one. Those accreditation bodies mean that all the universities or business schools that have those three accreditations provide a very strong and excellent academic teaching, as well as cohesive classes and out-of-class experience in order to maximize your employability opportunities. So this means that what we will teach you at emlyon is exactly what is needed right now in the luxury world and in other industries as well. So there's strong cohesion there. In the world, there are only 1% of all business schools which are accredited by those three main international accreditation bodies, and we're very proud to be one of them. Whether you decide to join emlyon or not, we strongly recommend that if you are looking at us, that you only look as well at other universities and business schools that are also triply accredited to make sure that the education that you will get is definitely worth the time you will spend in this university. So now that I've told you a little bit more about emlyon, what we do, our, I would say, what is our main goal in getting you to your goal of employability, I will now leave the floor to Mrs. Rollet, the head of the Master of Science in Luxury Management and Marketing, to tell you more specifically about the program. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Charlotte. Really very pleased to be with all of you. Just to give some credit to all the speech of Charlotte, I can tell you I was graduated a long time ago from Grande École of emlyon. And thanks to this, I was able to have a great career. Just to give you some insight, I was the president of Tiffany & Co. for Europe, Middle East, India, and Africa. I was also the development director for Christian Dior for 8 years. And I also discovered the private banking industry, where I became the chief marketing officer of one of the top 5 private banks in Switzerland, which was also a luxury side of my career. So you can see that what Charlotte illustrated is definitely illustrated also in my professional life. I am now the head of this Master of Science in Luxury Management and Marketing. And of course, I know quite well this industry, and this is helping tremendously also my understanding of the program and the needs. And that's what we are going to discover in the following charts. Charlotte, I will need your help to move the charts, if you don't mind. Thank you. So just very quickly, the Master of Science is aimed at 4-year bachelor degree. It can also be accessed for the 3-year bachelor degrees if they have a specific good file and motivation, which then leads you to more detail of the program. And we are going to move to the next chart. Thank you. So the Master of Science in Luxury Management and Marketing is, as we said, bachelor degree 4 or potentially 3, but also bachelor degree 5 that could be interested. This is a program that is gathered into 120 credit ECTS. Everything is delivered in English language, so you have to monitor perfectly well this language. It's a program which will last between 16 to 18 months. You have 10 months of classes in multiple destinations, and you have to achieve 4 to 6 months internship, which will explain the difference between 16 and 18. So you have 3 different steps. The first part of your studies will take place on the campus of emlyon in Paris, and that will be step 1 from September to December. Then you will need to choose some sort of specialization for the second semester, which will be Jan to March. So either in London, either in New York or in Rome, and we are gonna develop that a little further. And then the third semester will take place in another destination that we are currently investigating for the next year. As you might know, we are also accredited by a very famous institution in France, which is called Conference of Top School, let's say, which is Conférence des Grandes Écoles, which allows you to guarantee quality and high level of excellence in terms of adequation with all expectations of employers. That will lead you as a start of your career to marketing position in luxury maison, either in the digital, either in product management and development, communication and PR, events. Of course, retail is also a fantastic opportunity for the graduated. And of course, we also have some students that are going into the consultant maison, such as McKinsey or famous maison like that. So that's, in a nutshell, the very key elements of this program. Charlotte, if I may ask you to put, thank you. So to enter a little deeper into the content, as you can see, September to December, you will cover fundamental courses that are, intellectual property, legal. It can also be marketing, basic. It can also be finance. And you will also have a fantastic project that we call Transforming Early Makers, where you will be gathered in groups of 6, 7 students, and you will have to create from scratch a luxury company that you will define and design from all sorts of aspects, which is a very exciting part of this semester. And this is based in Paris. And at the end of your semester, you will present your project of luxury company in front of a jury of professionals that will evaluate your work and give you some feedback on the quality of your project. Second term, Jan to March. Then, if you are more interested in luxury, in events designing, such as PR or fashion défilé, or all sorts of events related to luxury, you might be sent to the New York Parsons School of Design, which is one of the top schools on this matter in the world, very, very strong diploma. If you are more into hard luxury with fashion or accessories and things that are really much more products, then you might join the London College of Fashion. There again, one of the top schools in its industry, in its specialization. And we also have the possibility for you to discover more of the Italian luxury with the Luis Business School, which is welcoming some of our students also. So it's a vast choice of options, which makes it very specific to your own taste and ambitions. Then from April to June, there will be a new destination to be designed where you will be discovering luxury with another perspective to give you more insight and more vision about luxury experiences, luxury design, luxury everything that is connected to this industry. And more specifically here, there is an in-company project where you need to be some sort of consultant in a company and you are handling a specific topic and a mission that the company has designed for you. And at the end of the semester, you will need to deliver a recommendation. So you're really put into the real world where you have to demonstrate your skills and your competence and your passion. Then you enter the last part of the master dissertation, of the master thesis, which is doing your internship, minimum 4 to 6 months in a luxury maison anywhere in the world. And at the same time, you will also have to design your master thesis, where you will develop a specific question that you will have with a supervisor. At the end of a few months of hard work, you will send us the document and you will have to present it orally to a jury, where you will again demonstrate your skills and your competencies in speaking of a specific topic. If you comply with all the expectations of all these various steps, then you will be able to graduate approximately 18 months after you started your program. At the same time, you have the chance to have tutors on the career side that will give you advice and coaching around career, which means how to design your curriculum vitae, how to present yourself in an interview, how to identify options for internship or for a long-term contract for a work in a luxury maison. So that's also additional skills that will be given to you so that you are equipped with a full scope of talents in order to succeed into your future luxury career. Charlotte, thank you. So in a nutshell, as we said, the duration of this program is 16 to 18 months. The tuition fees are involving 34,000 euros for the free destination. Of course, you need to travel, and this is not taken into the tuition fees. And of course, you need to live in each country. Everything is in English, so an English language is needed definitely. You have the choice between all the options that I covered previously. You have in mind the various prestigious academic partners that we work with. As we mentioned, we have 120 credits, 90 that are dedicated to the 3 quarters that you spend studying, and 30 that are related to the master dissertation presentation. And generally, we welcome approximately 30 nationalities with 120 students from all around the globe, which makes it a very exciting experience, because you meet people from China, Europe, the US, Latin America, Philippines, Thailand. I mean, this is a fantastic experience with many opportunities to connect and to create your future professional network. And I think that I covered all the topics. And of course, where do our graduates work? Well, you can see in front of you very famous brands: the Richemont Group, the L'Oréal Group, Kering, LVMH, Hermès, Coty, Chanel, Lanvin, Balmain, Hyatt Hotels, Louboutin Shoes. Every brand in the luxury industry is knowing our program, and I can assure you that they appreciate a lot the quality of the graduates, and they are really very pleased to welcome them either for internships, either for long-term contract after they graduate. And I think that was the last chart. Charlotte, if I'm not wrong on my side.
I think so indeed. If you just give me a second. There.
Ah, sorry, yes. London College of Fashion is located in the heart of London, just to give you a, close to Oxford Circus. So it's a fantastic location, obviously, to also discover the London brand, let's say. which is an amazing experience. And of course, later on, you have the Parsons School of Design, extremely famous, which is located very close to the 14th Street and the Flatiron building, very close to the heart of New York. So another amazing experience. And all our students visiting London or New York or the Lewis Business School that you can discover here are coming back with a fantastic feedback from their respective experience. As you can see, the Lewis Business School in Rome is an amazing building where you will have the capability to discover in depth much more the luxury in Italy, and with famous teachers and the scientific committee of the Lewis Business School, as you can see, is made of very prestigious people that know perfectly well the luxury. And I think that was my presentation.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, Florence. Now that we've talked into more details about the program, I'm going to give you a short presentation of the application process should you wish to apply for the program. So at emlyon, the application process is in 3 steps. 2 of the steps are concerning you. First of all, you will need to apply with your online application on our website, which you will need to fill in. Once you have done so, you will then need to take the emlyon digital test in order for your application to be considered. Once both of those steps have been taken, your application will then go to the jury, including Mrs. Rollet, and the decision of admissions or non-admissions will then be taken. So, how exactly does it work? So the application is available online on our website, masters.emlyon.com. In this application file, you will need to provide us with some mandatory documents. For example, like your ID, your diploma, proof of enrollment if you're currently in higher education, as well as all of your transcripts from all the previous years of higher education you've studied. All of those are the mandatory documents. I can only recommend that you also add optional documents to your application in order to make it a stronger one. Specifically for this program, the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing is one of our most well-known and appreciated programs, meaning that we have a lot of applications each year, and it is important for your application to be as complete as possible to give you the best chance possible when comparing to many other very deserving applicants as well. Those optional documents can be, for example, an English test score like IELTS, TOEFL, or TOEIC. It can also be a management test score like the TAJMAJ or the GMAT or GRE, or it could also be recommendation letters. I would recommend, if you can, that you add recommendation letters, whether they be academic or professional, to your application. This gives a strong, a much better understanding to the jury of exactly who you are as an individual in the workplace or in an academic setting. Once you have provided us with your application, the admissions team will take usually up to 5 days to check your application. This is not a shortlisting part. Here is just checking whether your application is complete, whether we have all the documents necessary in order for your application to be looked at by the jury. When this is done, the admissions team will give you access to the emlyon digital tests. You will have 3 days to take those tests. How do you take those tests? First of all, you will have to take them on a computer, no phone, no tablet. You will have to be alone in a room with, and we recommend, a strong internet connection. Obviously, as the program is taught entirely in English, the whole duration of a test will be in English as well. So, what will there be in this test? The emlyon digital tests last for about 1 hour and 15 to 1 hour and 30 minutes overall. There will be 3 main components to this test. First of all, there will be questions dedicated more towards professional immersion. Here you will be given information about a fictitious company, about where your place in this company, about your colleagues, and you will be put into several scenarios and situations where your colleagues will ask questions of you, and you will have multiple choices to choose from to answer. Here, the goal is really to see how you react in a company setting. sometimes as well in more difficult types of situations. How do you react in those situations as well? You will be put into interactive meetings with, again, for the same company, with your colleagues, in types of situations that are a little bit uncomfortable. For example, you will be a project manager in a project. You will have other people with you around the table. However, two of the different colleagues with you who are supposed to help on the project do not get along at all, and they absolutely refuse to work on the project together. How do you go trying to solve the situation? How do you go about it? All of those different scenarios that you will be faced with are things that will happen at some point in your work life. So think of this part of more of a personality type questionnaire that allows us to get more information about who you are specifically in the workplace. The second part of the test is dedicated more towards your ease and quickness of analysis. You will be put in front of cognitive tests with logic-based questions. So, for example, you will have domino suites, where you will have a suite of dominoes in front of you, an empty one in the middle, logically based on the number patterns you can see on the screen. What should be the number on the empty domino in the middle? So you will have those types of cognitive tests. You may also see a test that is inspired from the Hanoi Tower test, where you will have balls of colors in tubes that are put in one specific order. And then you will be given an image of those balls of color in these tubes in another order. You will be given a set amount of time to count how many different moves you need to make in order to move the balls from the first order to the second order. So here we're looking at your ease and quickness of analysis in the situations. And the last two parts of a test are more dedicated towards matching your profile and your personality and your motivations with the program. Specifically, you will be asked motivation-based questions. Some will be in video format, some will be in a written format. You will have up to 3 or 5 questions in a video format, 3 or 4 questions in a written format. Each time you will have a set amount of time to answer those questions. So this is both a test of motivation, but also of ease and quickness of synthesis, whether you're able to quickly convey your thoughts in a timely manner. All of those questions are pretty standard when it comes to the luxury industry, when it comes to why you want to study in a program in luxury, why specifically emlyon, what can you bring to emlyon, what do you think of specific topical things that have happened recently in the luxury industry. Here, our main goal is to make sure that you understand the different codes and the different things that it takes to work in luxury, and that you are matching exactly what we need, but also whether we can match what we can bring to you. So this is definitely a matching part of the test in both sides this way. The last part will be more dedicated towards your industry knowledge. So there will be a questionnaire as well about questions from the luxury industry. So here it is important that you stay on top of the current topics of the luxury industry, what is happening in the world of luxury right now. And luxury, keep in mind, does not include only fashion. So we would strongly recommend that you have a knowledge at least of what happens in this industry by and large. Overall, all of those tests will last from 115 to 130 minutes. So it will go quite quickly. But it'll be a good way for us to know much more about you than just what your grades can tell us. Here, this is about knowing more about you. Then, based on both the academic file that you've already sent and on your digital test results, the jury will make a decision regarding your application, and you will be admitted or non-admitted. Your results will be available online on your applicant dashboard, which at emlyon we call a maker's board. And if you are admitted, once your admissions decision has been given to you, you will have 10 days to accept your place in the program and to pay a tuition deposit of 3,500 euros deducted from your overall tuition fees. So all of this, for example, should you wish to apply for the current application round, which I'm sorry, I've put the wrong date on the board, but the current application round closes on, I think I've put the right date here. The current application round closes on May 16. So should you wish to apply, you will need to provide us with all of the documents dated here and to take your tests before May 16. Currently, we're in mid-April. You have plenty of time to do so. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit more about the application or how to apply to a program, we're going to talk a little bit about financial aid. At emlyon, we recognize that a Master of Science sometimes can be a bit pricey, specifically for students who may have specific needs, and we strive as much as possible to offer financial aid in order to maximize the diversity of a cohort we're able to bring in the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing. So we offer two different types of scholarships for our students. First of all, in order to apply for the program, you will need to pay an application fee of 120 euros. If you currently are a cruise scholarship owner, which is the French higher education scholarship system, if you are currently a cruise scholarship owner or a high-level sport athlete, your application fees are free of charge to apply for the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing. On top of that, we have scholarships that are available to give you deductions from your overall tuition fees. The first one is called the individual scholarship. In order to apply for an individual scholarship, you will need to fill in the individual scholarship request form, which is available on your application file, and you will need to provide it with your application. So please don't forget it should you wish to apply for an individual scholarship. Individual scholarships are awarded based on the diversity you bring to the cohort. It can be based on your nationality, the diversity in terms of academic background, or for example, if you have more of an exotic background, for example, if you come from the startup business, if you have more an atypical background, this is something also that can definitely play. Obviously, the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing is an academically excellent program, so we will also be looking at your previous records and your academic excellence, and we will also be looking at you and your family's financial needs. This individual scholarship can go up to 30% of your overall tuition needs, and it can be additional to the excellent scholarship of which we will be talking now. So as you've seen in your application file, at emlyon, we do not require that you have already taken the GMAT or the GRE or the TAJMAJ, because we are making you take our own test. However, we recognize that some students take the time to pass those tests, and we know that they are not easy. So we reward outstanding applicants who have good results at those tests. So for example, should you have a score of over 650 at the GMAT, you will get an additional 5% scholarship, or a score of over 700 at the GMAT, you will get an additional 10% scholarship. Should you wish to be eligible for the Excellent Scholarship, the good news is you can apply for the current application session that will close on May 16. Even if you do not yet have taken the GMAT, you have until the end of the summer to provide us with a good GMAT score. So you have until the end of August to provide us with a good enough GMAT score to qualify for the Excellent Scholarship. So even once you've applied and hopefully been admitted, this is definitely something that can be done as well. And voila. So this was, we hope, an enlightening presentation both on emlyon as a whole and more specifically the MSc in Luxury Management and Marketing and how this program can help you in your career in the luxury industry. Now we have, I think, about 20 minutes in order to answer some questions. So if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the Q&A part of the session. Thank you very much for your time.
Great. Thank you so much to our presenters. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Florence, for sharing everything that you shared today. So at this point, everyone, we would love to open the floor to your questions. So if you could write any questions you have in the Q&A box, like we've mentioned, we'll go through those one by one. And so to start things off, Charlotte or Florence, could you talk a little bit about if emlyon offers career services or any sort of assistance with helping students secure internships or prepare for interviews, things like that?
Sure, definitely. Florence, do you want to take the floor? Or do you want me to go for it?
Please, I already mentioned the career coaching during all the scholar year so that you can have access to a tutor in your coach as a coaching advisor that will give you all advice in order for you to make sure that you sell yourself as a professional the best way. And of course, I can tell you that I have never had anybody not finding an internship and not being able to find a job. I think that the last study of employability that we have for this master shows that after 6 months after graduating from the Master of Science of Luxury Management and Marketing, 94% of our students do have a contract and they do work. So of course, we accompany the students in their career and they are able to access this supervisor of, advising them how to manage their career, let alone myself and all the professors that can also be of great help.
Perfect. I would also like to mention the fact that at emlyon, the career service is not only available for you when you are a student at emlyon, but also for 3 years after graduation, helping students shape their needs of career, going from finding an internship to the first position to then maybe negotiating for your first increase in salary, or how do you change your career maybe after the first 2 or 3 years and go into, for example, if you've gone into the fashion world, how do you then go into another part of the luxury industry, etc. So you have a career service which is here to help you out for the first 3 years after graduation. And after that, the Alumni Association at emlyon offers a lot of workshops, of networking opportunities, of breakfast with companies, and of one-on-one coaching as well throughout your career, from the first year up until 40, 45, 50 years later. So it's important to note that once you enter the emlyon ecosystem, we strongly recommend that you take all the opportunities that are offered to you, and there are many opportunities offered to you many years down the road.
Great. Thank you so much. And so another question we have is, could you talk about the situation on your campus now related to COVID? Are there restrictions at this moment, and how are students reacting or experiencing that?
Sure. Florence, do you want to go?
Yeah, well, look, we are quite privileged to think that COVID be sort of behind us now. In Paris, there is a free access to courses, physical courses, I would say, that are taking place. The same applied with all our students that were from January to March in New York, London, or Rome, except the fact that you needed to have vaccination and boost and all the safety rules that had to be respected, obviously, and which is the full normality. But I mean, of course, up to now, we were having a third semester in Shanghai. As we all know, at the moment, Shanghai being locked down because of a zero COVID policy, we have found solutions to make sure and to secure the quality and the content of the third quarter. and all is delivered in a physical course session in Paris with all the proper content that was supposed to take place in Shanghai. So this is definitely for us a permanent obsession of quality and making sure that whatever happens, we are here to secure the quality of our program.
Great, thank you so much. And can you talk about if you have advice for anyone looking to apply for the program?
Well, I would say first, make sure that you're really interested into luxury industry, which is not, you know, sometimes I see some candidates telling me on the videos and all the questions saying, I love Chanel bags. This is not, for me, a reason to join the Master of Science. If you really are interested, that means that you want to understand the back of, you know, what you see when you are a client. You see the fantastic Chanel bags in the windows of the boutiques. But if you enter this program, you will become professionals of how to create a retail experience, which is at the level expected in such an industry, how to make sure that the brand DNA is monitored properly. How do you create a proper marketing strategy? How do you integrate digital influence into your social media strategy? How do you think of sustainability moving forward in the luxury industry? How to make sure that intellectual property is operational, and this is a key issue, of course, with counterfeit. So you see the type of questions that we are handling. It's neither to design a bag, because sometimes we have people saying, I want to be a designer. We are not helping people to become designer. We are helping people to become professionals. I would say mostly in the marketing and retail divisions, but we also have some lawyers that are joining the program because they want to become expert of intellectual property, obviously in the luxury industry. We have plenty of profile joining the program from all around the globe with multiple motivations, but you need to make sure that you demonstrate that you are interested into the luxury industry. And that's really important to me. And when we ask questions, please answer with your own heart. Don't try to go on internet to copy paste some text, because we see it and this is not helping your application to be selected. So I would say what we are looking at when we are selecting you, on top of all the digital tests that Charlotte really described in detail earlier, it's to understand your motivation, your passion, your ambitions. If you want to create tomorrow a startup in fashion, then that will, of course, be interesting for us, because we will understand that your motivation is really, you know, strong, and that you have a real passion for this type of projects. So that's what we are looking at. We are looking for sincerity and demonstrating your motivation.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that, Florence. I didn't know if Charlotte wanted to speak up. That's why I gave a pause.
I think it was brilliantly answered.
Great. Great. Okay. Another question that I am curious to know too, if you two were sitting in this presentation as prospective students, what would you be asking, or what would you want to ask the presenters?
Well, it's quite difficult because we know quite well the program, to be honest with you. You know, I would just say that the luxury industry is a very specific industry with specific rules, specific guidelines, specific intentions in terms of brand platform. So it is a very interesting Master of Science, because it's giving you the keys to access all the backside of a luxury brand, how to design, how to make it fantastic experience, how to associate storytelling, history, and modernity. And of course, our Master of Science is moving forward. We are integrating sustainability courses from this quarter on. We are also considering all the evolutions of marketing, including all the metaverse and all these elements that are becoming more and more powerful in the strategy of all the luxury brands. We are very privileged to be able to invite people for conferences in our campus to, of course, share some experience with our students. Recently, we had people from Kenzo, from Chloe, we had people from Chanel, and of course, we will develop this with our students moving forward in the coming years, because it is important that they can confront their perception of the luxury industry with the reality of the industry. And we have a lot of alumni that are also coming for testimonial, demonstrating their career path, what they experienced, good and bad, and everything that could give you some reassurance of the reality and the efficiency of this program for a success, a future success in a luxury career.
Perfect. I would also like to add that it is important to note that the luxury industry doesn't mean just people coming from the same schools, people having done exactly the same business schools before coming to us, and people fitting in the same mold. There are many different careers needed in the luxury industry and many different backgrounds needed. So whether you already come from business school or not, whether you want to change, whether you have already worked before and want to change your career and go into the luxury industry with a background in engineering, law, pharmaceutical studies, or anything that is not necessarily related to business and management, it is entirely possible, and there is room for every type of different backgrounds and different types of careers in the luxury industry. It's not just marketing. There are many different other things that you can do. And the goal of this program is to really get your foot in the door. And then based on your own background and your own taking into your own hands what we teach you, you will be able to make your way through the luxury world into the place and make it your own.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much. At this time, I'm going to send a message in the chat box. If anyone here needs a certificate of attendance for the webinar today, you can click the link there. And at this point, we've made it through all of the Q&A questions that came in. So this is a quick last call for any remaining questions here for our presenters. We'll give everyone a minute in case they want to write a question, but is there anything, Florence or Charlotte, that you wanted to close with?
Look, I think that if you're really interested into a career in luxury industry, I can assure you that the Master of Science is definitely the best choice you can have, because all the maisons, you know, the famous maison of Chanel, LVMH, Kering, Richemont, all these maisons are working hand in hand with us. And I can assure you that every day I'm signing a lot of internship contracts with famous brands for all the cohort, and all the students are amazed by the choice that they have, because they can also have multiple choices sometimes. So they need to choose one for good, because they cannot change their mind every 2 weeks. But I can assure you that the reputation of this program among the maisons is absolutely unique and flawless. So of course, our ambition is to keep that quality, and we still want to be the elite and the inspiration of luxury for this type of audience that are passionate and willing to really put their mark into this industry.
Definitely. I will add, obviously, that on the page right now, you can see our email address, master@em-lyon.com. I would recommend that you keep it somewhere with you. If you have any other questions that come to you after this presentation in the next few days or weeks, do not hesitate to send us an email. This goes directly to me, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions you may have.
Fantastic. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. And thank you to our friends from emlyon for the great presentation and all of the information today. That's it from me. I'll say have a great evening, but you all can close it out.
Thank you to all.
Thank you very much.